Hey YouTube, it is Melinda. How y'all doing? Um, wow, I think it's been probably like over a month since I made a video. I have been busy. So much stuff been going on. I've been working my butt off. Uh, Working about 60 hours a week or whatever. But I wanted to come. I'm actually in the process of doing my time card because I got to turn it in tomorrow. But I wanted to make a video while I was doing that. So I'm probably going to be looking up a lot. So, don't pay that no attention. But I wanted to make a video about my pregnancy with my daughter. I know I've been saying I was going to do this, so I wanted to be sure I go ahead and get it done. Um, anyway, I have a condition called PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I had a lot of troubles with my cycles. They was probably like every 3, 4, 5 months. Um, so I was like, well, I had got to the age of 38. Me and my husband had been trying to get pregnant for like 3 years. So nothing worked. I mean, I took all kind of vitamins, tried all kind of fertility lubricants, fertility monitors, ovulation kits, all kind of stuff. Nothing worked. So, I was like, I'm going to have to go ahead on and get serious about this. So, I went to a fertility specialist, right? Try to see if they can help me. I knew I couldn't afford in vitro, but I wanted to see if they could do the intrauterine injection where they inject my husband's sperm up in my uterus. That was, I think it was about 500 per cycle. So I was like, okay, that's something that I could do. So me and my husband, we go to the fertility clinic or whatever. And hold on, y'all, I'm trying to think of what time I gotta put in here. 4:15. Gotta make sure I get this stuff right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we went to the fertility clinic, and they did the workup. I had like the test where they put the dye up in my ovaries and trying to make sure my tubes was open. They did a sperm analysis on him to see was his sperm good, which they were good. My ovaries was open. So he told me the only explanation that he could see was that I was older. We had been trying since I was like 35. At the time, I was 39. So he was like, I think your age is what's keeping you from getting pregnant. So he was like, what I'm going to do? He said, I'll help you. He said, but you're going to have to go get a full workup, meaning you're going to have to get medical clearance to get pregnant. So I'm like, I could do this. I mean, I wasn't really worried, because I knew I was in pain management, because I've been having pain for a lot of years. So I didn't know how that would work. But I had to also get genetic counseling. And I knew I had high blood pressure and stuff. So I had to go to a cardiologist, had to see my neurologist. I had to go to a pulmonary specialist, ear, nose, and throat doctor to make sure that, they would be able to intubate me for delivery. A lot of stuff, So anyway, I had the genetic counseling, and they talked to me about the possibilities of my baby having my disability. They wanted to make sure I understood the risk. So we did all that. It took a process. I think I went to fertility clinic in January, and it took about 6 months to get all that done. Okay, so in the meantime, I went to my OBGYN, and I told him that, hey, he had been treating me for the PCOS for years. So he finally got my cycles to every 35 days. So I told him, I said, look, me and my husband want to have a baby. I'm currently going to fertility specialist. He's like, fertility specialist is so high. He said, look, try these pills. He wrote me a prescription for Clomid, which helps women with PCOS get pregnant. And he said, this should help you. So he told me to take it starting day 3 of my cycle. And I think I took 5 pills So it's like a day 3 to 8, I took the Clomid pill, and then it would make me ovulate. So I went back to the fertility specialist around August or whatever, and he saw that I had a letter of recommendation from a high risk GYN doctor, OBGYN. The high risk doctor said, I think Miss Kane would be a good candidate for pregnancy, So he looked at it, he read the letter of recommendation, and he said, well, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. And I'm like, what? Why not? I done went through all this stuff. And he told me I couldn't sleep at night if your child had a disability, was born with a disability. I couldn't sleep at night. Now, mind you, I have been through genetic counseling to prepare me in case my baby had my disability. I done spent all this money getting all these tests done. Back and forth for 6 months. Go back and he tell me he can't help me. Y'all, he told me, he said, I don't see you have no issues. He said, keep trying. I don't even supposed to tell you this much, but I'm going to tell you because I wanted to help you. So I'm thinking maybe he met with the other doctors and they made the decision not to help me. He said, just keep trying. I left there. I had to go to work afterwards. My husband driving. I'm sitting in the back of the van. I'm crying my ass out. Do you hear me? And my husband told me, he said, look, Melinda, he said, that doctor is not God. He cannot tell you what's best for you. He's like, don't be upset. But to me, that was my last hope. Damn, we had already been trying 3 years and nothing was working. So I'm like, it's over with. So anyway, I have been taking a Clomid since February. Here it's August. It hadn't worked. So he didn't want to let me do no more than 6 cycles with the Clomid. Because the Clomid can actually cause you to get ovarian cysts. So I went back in August. I told him, I said, look, I said, this my GYN doctor. I said, could you write me one more round of Clomid? That's 3 more months, one more round. I said, I just want to try one more. I don't want to give up yet. And he said, okay, we're going to try one more time. Don't you know, August, September, I tried. I had already had my cycle for August, September. I'm trying to think September I went back to the doctor. Y'all excuse me, I'm messing up. August I went to fertility clinic. Okay. They got the bad news, they wouldn't help me. September I went back to my GYN and asked for another round of Clomid. Okay. I had already had my cycle for September, so I had to wait till October to start the Clomid. November, I was pregnant. Do you hear me? Now, I'll tell you what happened. I didn't know I was pregnant. I'm going to work every day, but I noticed that I was congested. I mean, like, coughing up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Green, And I was having a hard time breathing, but I hadn't been on my job probably about 8 months, and I was still considered temporary. So I didn't have any healthcare benefits with the job or job protection or sick time off, stuff like that. So I was just trying to make it to my off day, which I made it. And I went to my primary care doctor, and she listened to me and said, Melinda, it sounds like you got pneumonia. And she said, I'm going to send you over to the hospital to get an x-ray. They did an x-ray, and it didn't show anything. So, for some reason, I don't know if it's because I've had a spinal fusion before, but for some reason, it don't show up in my x-rays. Like pneumonia. I had to get a CT scan in order to see pneumonia in my body. So I told them, I said, look, they said, well, with this, the x-rays didn't show anything. I said, can y'all give me a CT scan? I said, because, I've had pneumonia many times and I know what it takes to see it. So they gave me a CT scan, and before the lady gave it to me, she says, is there any chance you could be pregnant? I said, no. I mean, damn, it's been 3 years. I didn't know I was pregnant. So I told her, no, there's no chance I could be pregnant or whatever. And she said, okay. I was in my 2 week wait then, you know. I was probably like in week 3. My cycle was due in another week. So, I didn't think I was pregnant. So, anyway, they gave me the CT scan to come back. Boom, I got pneumonia. Okay, they admitted me in the hospital. I'm getting breathing treatments, all that. And my stomach was cramping bad. I mean, I'm thinking my cycle coming, I'm like, ooh. I called my husband. I'm like, little baby, bring my pads over here. I said, my stomach cramping bad as hell. So he brought my pads up there or whatever, but it didn't come. So it's about time for me to get out the hospital. I had been in there for a week. So I noticed my cycle hadn't came, but I'm at home. I'm still very congested, I'm like, wow, I'm so congested. And this was like a Tuesday. My birthday was that Friday. So I said, I wonder could I be pregnant? I'm like, nah. But I had a pregnancy test. So I said, I'm gonna wait till my birthday, which was 3 days. So I waited. I didn't want to be disappointed, I didn't want to be disappointed at all. So I just waited it out. So on my birthday, still no period. 3 days later, I'm at the hospital. Still congested. Still feeling terrible. And I went and peed on the stick. And it was bright pink. 2 lines, y'all. And I was crying. I was just like, I went into praise. Do you hear me? I was in the kitchen screaming, thank you, Jesus. I wanted this baby for so many years, and I was finally pregnant. I was like, oh my God. I was sick as a dog, though. And I was doing so much screaming and crying, I started feeling like I was going to pass out. So I had to calm down. My husband was still asleep. He heard me in the kitchen screaming on the phone, telling my sister, I'm pregnant. So that kind of ruined it for him. He's like, I heard you tell your sister. I'm like, I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So because I was still so congested, I went to another hospital. Because I felt like they didn't give me good care at the hospital that I was in. So I went to another hospital. They gave me a pregnancy test, confirmed that I was pregnant. They didn't really do nothing. They said, you have now your symptoms as bronchitis. You don't have an infection in your lungs now, but you do have bronchitis. So I'm still coughing and stuff. So I'm like, okay. They didn't give me any antibiotics or nothing. They were like, you're pregnant. There's not much we can do. You're just going to have to try to ride it out. So, y'all, I wrote it out. Fast forward. I did good. I really did good my entire pregnancy. They thought I was going to be in the hospital on bed rest. I wasn't. I worked on up it was time until it was time for me to have my baby. I had to get injections in my stomach, blood thinner injections, to keep my blood thin. Because when you're in a wheelchair and you're pregnant, you have a higher chance of getting blood clots because you're not mobile. So my husband had to give me a shot in my belly every day. That was so painful. I mean, that was the worst part. And, I was throwing up and stuff like that, but that was like the worst thing. Now, I got all the way to 33 weeks. And I went to work. Y'all know, I was working in customer service. I had a difficult patient. And, cussed me out, talk crazy to me, bitches, all that. I was holding it in, because you can't get crazy with the customer or whatever on the phone. And so I was like, okay, I held it in. And it made me sick. It made my head hurt real bad. I started throwing up at work. I just felt terrible, So the next day, I had an appointment. I had this, I had started getting like the every weekly stress test, to make sure to prepare me, for delivery. And I told her, I said, my head has been hurting since yesterday. I said, I had a difficult, patient at work. I said, my head hurt and I started vomiting. She said, let me take your blood pressure. It was out the roof, y'all. She said, okay, we finna send you down to labor and delivery. I'm like, what? I'm only 33 weeks. Barely 33 weeks. I just turned 33 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, your blood pressure is too high. So they took me down. Hold on, y'all gotta think, make sure I put my right time in here. Yeah, they took me down to labor and delivery. They was checking my cervix and all that. It was closed. They was like, Melinda, it's just time to get this baby out. It's time to get her out. Your blood pressure is sky high. Your body just can't do anymore. They said, we're going to have to take her out of here. So I'm like, oh my God. They said, we're going to keep you in here. We're going to try to make it to 34 weeks. That they decided to take her out 33 weeks and 6 days. So they took her out or whatever. Now, in the meantime, they were still kind of trying to figure out how they was going to deliver her. First, they said I was going to have her natural. Okay. Because they said I was going to have her natural because my spine is fused. I have scoliosis from my disability. So they was like, they was not going to be able to get an epidural in my back. So they said I was going to have natural birth. But they was concerned about me having natural birth because what if I got into a medical emergency and they didn't have time to intubate me? And I could have died, And the thing with I have muscular dystrophy, it's very dangerous to put me up under anesthesia because I can stop breathing. So they decided to intubate me while I was awake and then put me to sleep and deliver my baby. So they did that, Doctor came in the morning of the C-section. He said, okay, this is the same doctor that approved me to get pregnant with the fertility specialist. This is that same doctor. He's like, okay. He's the one that wrote the letter of recommendation. He's like, Miss Kane, we're here. I remember you coming into my office wanting to get pregnant. You're here. Today is your day. And I was like, this today. He said, but I must tell you. He said, it's a chance that you may not make it. He said, I just got to tell you that it's a chance that you may die. And I'm like, yeah. And it was scary because I'm like, damn, I haven't even been married 2 years yet. I'm still a newlywed. I don't want to leave my husband with a newborn, because I wanted this baby. And he really didn't want kids. He had her for me, but he really didn't want kids. He did it for me. So I was like, Lord, don't take me. Don't take me, Lord, And my mom went to go pick my husband up. We was having car troubles. I was waiting on them to get there. They was prepping me. So the anesthesiologist is coming there with some lidocaine. It was thick like Vaseline, okay? I had to swallow this stuff to numb my trachea and all that. This stuff was so thick. I was gagging on it, you know what I'm saying? And somehow some went in my lung and I aspirated. And I was coughing. So I couldn't get out. I was doing all that. I couldn't get it up. I thought I was going to die. And I was like, oh my God. I choked so bad off of that. And after I finally got my composure or whatever, she was like, Melinda, you're going to have to go ahead and swallow it. It's time to take you down for the C-section. We got to get this tube in your throat. Come on, we need you to swallow this. So I just started swallowing. I was like, Lord. I swallowed as much as I could, and I made it look like I was really swallowed. I swallowed, some, but not a whole lot. So I felt that too when it went in my throat. It just felt like when they intubated me, they laid my throat back. They opened my mouth up, and I felt the tube go in, and it just felt like something was blocking me here. And I told the doctor, before y'all put that tube in, have that medicine ready. I said, after you put that in my throat, I need for you to push that medicine through and put me to sleep. I didn't want to be sitting there feeling that in my throat. I panic quick. So I'm like, no. Once you get that in place, push the medicine. They were like, yes, ma'am. And they did that. They did just what I told them to do. So the plan was, when I woke up, I was supposed to woke up. If I would have had difficulty breathing, the plan was to let me wake up in the ICU, up under, a respirator. I woke up in normal labor and delivery. I didn't have any breathing tubes. I was breathing on my own. I was just sleepy. I was like, I woke up when nobody there. My husband was gone. My mom was gone. Everybody was gone. I was like, how long have I been asleep, But I was just so thrilled that I made it. I was alive, And I looked on the table. There was 2 pictures of my baby that the nurses took for me. She was so cute, y'all. Oh my God. And she's in NICU. And I was in and out. So my sister-in-laws came to see me. I was still in recovery. I'm in and out, in and out, in and out. So I remember later on that night, I think it had been like 12 hours after I had my baby. I remember this awful pain in my rib area right here. I mean, it was just terrible. Oh my God. It was worse than a C-section cut. And I told the nurse, I said, my side is hurting me so bad. And she said, is it? I was like, yeah. I said, it's worse than a C-section cut. I said, the morphine pump is not helping. I said, something is wrong. They was rolling me over, try to, get me off my side, relieve me, rotate me. That was killing me. Oh my God, that hurt so bad. And I told the doctor, they said, we think you got a blood clot. And they said, you could have pneumonia. I said, look, something's wrong. Y'all got to figure this out, please. I feel like I was dying. And so they gave me x-ray while I was in the bed. They put the little board behind me and stuff. And they said, well, we don't see any pneumonia. We don't see a blood clot or anything. I said, look, you cannot see pneumonia on me with an x-ray machine. You're going to have to do a CT scan. Back to before I found out I was pregnant. Same scenario. I said, you're going to have to do a CT scan. So they took me down to a CT scan. Turned out I got double pneumonia. Okay? I don't know if it come from when I aspirated on that lidocaine before I went down. But they said they tested the bacteria that I coughed up, and it was MRSA. I believe that's what it was. And they said it was the same as flesh-eating bacteria. I was on my deathbed, y'all. The respirator machine was going crazy. Okay, my breathing had dropped so low, and I could see the nurse. She was standing by me. I'm still in labor delivery. She's just standing there like this, looking at the machine, like, oh, this poor baby. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she was like, your breathing is just not good. She said, I'm gonna have to talk to the doctor, So next thing I know, the doctor come in. It's like, Miss Kane, your breathing is really, really low. He said, your respirators is low. We're gonna have to move you to ICU so we can possibly prepare to intubate you, and I'm like, oh, what? I was hurting, but I actually feel like I could breathe. They had the little thing, little oxygen thing or whatever, but I didn't feel like I couldn't breathe, It's like, it's not looking good right now. And they said, we need to get you where if something happened, we can take care of you. Labor and delivery recovery is not the proper place right now. So I'm like, okay. So they end up moving me to ICU step down, okay? So this is like the second day after I had my baby. And, I'm trying to stay alert. I'm trying, they giving me, shots and stuff for pain and antibiotics and IV. I'm trying to stay alert, because I want to see my baby. But they told me because I had, a flesh-eating bacteria type of pneumonia, I couldn't go down to NICU at all. So, I did get to go down there once before they knew what type of bacteria it was. They did let me go down there to see her. I had to wear like a mask and all that. I was still on oxygen. But, I saw her. I didn't get to hold her. She was in an incubator. But after they found out what type of bacteria I had, they put me on quarantine. So, it was so stressful, y'all. I was like, this shit is gonna kill me. The nurses, some of the nurses were trifling. They weren't really taking care of me right. The bedroom I had, I went back to the women's floor. The hospital room I had was not wheelchair accessible, so I couldn't get in the bathroom to use the bathroom. I had to use a potty chair. I couldn't even get in there to take a bath. I had to wash up in the sink. It was just a terrible experience for me trying to heal and get well to get out of there. Then I was trying to breastfeed. My daughter, I was trying to pump and send her milk because she was a preemie. They said that was the best thing for her. So I'm sick as a dog, but I'm still trying to pump breast milk and all that. And I would say a week after I had her, I was well enough to go home. Thank you, Jesus. My baby was going home. I had her, she was 4 pounds, 5 ounces. The day I took her home, she was 4 pounds, 3 ounces. So she was tiny. But God could just do that. So, yeah. So I'm trying to think. I think that's just pretty much it. About my pregnancy and delivery type of thing. I'll probably make another video about me finding out she had muscular dystrophy and autism. Because that's what's next. But, I ain't going to hold y'all too long. But, got any questions or anything about it, just leave a comment. I will try my best to do better on making videos for y'all. I did find out I have fibromyalgia on top of everything else. So I've been kind of, in a lot of pain lately. Been going through a lot, so I really haven't been, feeling my best. So y'all keep me in your prayers on that or whatever. But, yeah. But, thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And take care, and I'll see y'all next time, okay? All right.